Hello guys, you're welcome to my kitchen. It's Nikspicykitchen. So on today's episode on Nikspicykitchen, guys, we're making plum egusi with spinach. So I'll be introducing you to all my ingredients for today's cooking. So I've got my melon here, which is egusi. As you can see, it has been blended dry, and this is the amount of what we are using today. And anyways, let me continue before I tell you what we'll be using with it. So this is my pepper mix, not even pepper mix. I'm using just Scotch bonnet and onions, 2 onions, one for the melon and one for the pepper. And this is my plum tomato, so I'm going to be using 1 plum tomato. I couldn't lay my hands on ugu because I usually love ugu pork bean leaf. That's what I use mostly for my egusi if I'm going to use any vegetable, but I couldn't lay my hands on any, so I decided to use spinach. So I'll be using 2 bunch of spinach. As you can see, it's not been cut and sliced yet. We'll be doing that for later purpose. And here is my mixed meats. I've got nose here, I've got beef, goat meat, I've got comb, is it honeycomb? Yeah, that's SHAKI, and I've got my ABODI. So these are the likes of the meat we're using. So I'm going to introduce you to the flavor of the egusi. You know when I say the flavor, so these are the main flavor. So I'm going to be using dry fish. This is dry fish. I'm using BONGA fish. I couldn't lay my hands on stock fish, dry stock fish, so I'm using just this 2, and I'll be using this cow skin, which is known as PONMO. As you can see, I'm having just 3 pieces here. And this is my crayfish. You know, any egusi or any vegetable soup you make without crayfish, you're missing. You miss just one ingredient. So this is my seasoning cube, and this is my salted tastes. So guys, let's get it started as we proceed further. So guys, I'll be adding my meat in this pot. This meat has been thoroughly washed. When I say thoroughly washed, it has been thoroughly washed. So I'll be adding this in a pot. I'll be adding in my PONMO. So this is my PONMO. So I'll be adding this 3. I'll be slicing in my onions. So I'll be going in with my seasoning cube. I'm using 3 seasoning cubes for that, and I'll be going in with my salt. So now I'm going to use my hand to mix this all together so I can get the seasoning and the salt all over. So we're gonna be cooking this. No water yet, guys. So the next thing I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to be using this pot to cook my dry fish and also the BONGA fish. So I'll be adding this in this little pot here. This 2. So I'll be adding water. So next in line to do now, I'm going to be blending this 1 bulb of onions. So I'm just going to be adding little water to this. now these are melon. I'll be adding crayfish. I'm not finishing it because I'm still gonna use it. I'm gonna add salt, not too much. You have to be very careful as not to get your melon salted. This is just the amount I'm adding. This is the quantity I'm adding. As you can see, just sprinkling it around. So I'm gonna add the whole of this in this.
So guys, I'm going to be blending my pepper, the scotch bonnet, the plum tomato, and also the onions. I'm going to be adding that in my blender. So I'll be blending. Actually, I'm not going to blend to a smooth paste because we don't need it smooth. We're making egusi soup. So guys, now we're gonna check on our meat if our meat is done. You know, we didn't add water from the beginning, but now water is in the meat. How does that happen? It's magic. So we've got little water that comes out from the meat to cook. So now I'm going to be adding little water from my kettle. So I'm going to be adding it and I'll stir so that the meat can cook properly because it's not done yet. So I'm going to cover that to cook properly. So what next to do, I'm going to check on a BONGA fish and the dried fish to check if it is cooked properly, and yes, it's cooked. So what next? I'm gonna drain off the dirty water off it because, you know, I didn't wash it before putting it in a pot to cook. So I'm gonna drain off the water and I'll be adding a new water from the kettle to wash it off properly. So I'm gonna do that and also drain it and throw the water away because I'm not using the water. So don't think maybe I used the water. No, I didn't. So now I'm gonna shred it because we are using it for egusi, don't forget. So I'm gonna shred that and keep it aside. So what next? We're going on to our spinach. I'm gonna be cutting the spinach into pieces and give it a thorough wash. But one thing I noticed is that at the end of the day, where I was cutting, the camera was not recording. Sorry about that. So now we're going in to make the egusi. Now I'll be adding some palm oil in the pot. So I'm going to let that heat up for a few minutes. And you know, we've made a paste egusi in one corner. So now I'll be adding it, scooping it little by little inside the heated oil, little by little, like I said, little by little. And don't stir whenever you're doing the process like this. Don't stir with your spoon because it's still soft, it's not cooked. So you have to use the handle of the pot to shake so that you can have a if you want to stir, if you want to stir, you shake. You can see that's how I went through all the process. I'll add the egusi, I'll scoop it in, then I'll shake it with the handle. So I have some little left that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to add the meat stock in it and I'm going to be stirring that. So after stirring, so I'm going to be pouring that into the egusi. But what I did is I was, you know, pouring by the sides. I didn't go in the middle, so I'm going through the side because I don't want my lump egusi to scatter. So that was why I did it that way. I hope you understand. So I'm just going to be doing it little by little because I don't want my lump egusi to scatter inside the soup. So you have to be very careful if you're doing it this way. And after that, I shake the handle. Like I said, you don't have to use your spoon so that you don't break the egusi. You're still going to use the spoon later on, but you know, for the early stage like this, you just have to go in with the handle to shake it thoroughly. So now I'm going to go in with the pepper. That's the blended pepper we made earlier. So I'm going to be adding that and I'm going to allow that to cook. I don't know what happened to my camera, why that place didn't show where it was a bit cooking. So now I'm adding my fish, the shredded fish, the dry fish and the BONGA fish that we shredded. So I'm going to let that cook for a bit. It's not too much though, like I let it cook like probably 5 minutes. So I went in with my seasoning, my salt to taste, and I'll be shaking the handle to stir that thoroughly. So now we'll be going in with the meat. So I'm gonna add the meat, but I had issue. I'm like, how am I gonna do it? I firstly use the handle to shake. So later on, I was, I had to use the spoon, but I was a bit careful. Though I still had some lumps, but some broke. But never mind, we still got some. So not all, but at least we can manage with the ones we had. So after this, I'll be going in with my spinach. My washed spinach is going in last with my crayfish, but not yet. So I'm gonna stir that spinach. So I'm being careful doing this. As you can see, I'm just being careful because I don't want the lumps to to break. So now I went in with my crayfish, so I'm gonna stir that thoroughly as well. Thoroughly. Why thoroughly, Nike? No, thoroughly. You have to be careful. No, thoroughly. So now we're gonna cover this to cook for probably 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, our egusi is done, guys. Do you know, while I was doing this, after the whole thing was cooking, I quickly made myself some pando because I couldn't wait to have the egusi. Honestly, I was so famished. So that's the end of it, guys. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. What are you waiting for? If you haven't subscribed to now, go now and subscribe to my channel. Don't just watch the video, subscribe and tap on the notification bell to get notified each and every time I upload a video. And also share with your friends, your family members, everybody, and comment. Your comments count a lot. Bye.